Hello and welcome to CNN News 18 with me, Ayushman Singh Jambal. Our top story, Bollywood actor and politician Kangana Ranaut has launched a dual-front offensive against the entertainment industry, aggressively slamming actor Kriti Sanon's controversial new Rakhi advertisement while publicly naming and insulting her vocal industry critics. These are Kangana Ranaut's critics. Now, taking to Instagram, Ranaut labeled Sanon's modern Raksha Bandhan commercial, and she said, and I quote, "It is intentionally creepy over its contemporary styling, which featured a bralette-style blouse in the advertisement that was worn by Kriti Sanon, as well as a sequence where the actress ties a Rakhi to her pet dog." Now, simultaneously, Ranaut held a fiery press conference on Monday, dropping a massive public tirade against colleagues Taapsee Pannu, Rakhi Sawant, Sonu Sood, Ashutosh Rana, as well as yoga guru Baba Ramdev, dismissing them as, and I quote, "failures and disgusting for their historic criticism of her personal life as well as public conduct." Now, issuing a blunt ultimatum to her detractors, this is what she had to say.
Enough is enough. मैं देखती हूँ हर एक आए दिन ये इस तरह के लोग, चाहे वो आशुतोष राणा हो जो कहते हैं कि कुत्ते की तरह भौंकते हैं, चाहे सोनू सूद टाइप लोग हैं जो कहते हैं कि मुझे तरीका सीखना चाहिए, राखी सावंत टाइप लोग हैं जो मेरे चरित्र पर जो है हर तरीके की भद्दी टिप्पणी करते हैं, तापसी पन्नू टाइप लोग हैं जो मेरे माता पिता को, मेरी परवरिश को, मेरे बैकग्राउंड को अपमानित करते हैं। ये लोगों के लिए मेरा सिर्फ एक मैसेज है कि अगर आप लोग मेरे समान 1% भी लाइफ में सक्सेस नहीं कमा पाए हो तो मैं आपका कोई भी ज्ञान नहीं सुनूंगी।
And I'm joined by my colleague Pallavi Ghosh on the broadcast. Pallavi, clearly it seems Kangana Ranaut has become the culture warrior for the BJP when it comes to these kind of issues, taking on her own industry figures. But once again, she continuously faces this criticism that while she dishes it, she can never take it whenever it's directed towards her.
Yeah, I think so. So, Ayushman, she's always been known to take a line where one has to be very prim and proper as far as cultural events or festivals of India are concerned, which of course has landed her in a lot of controversy. But in this case, there are two different polarizing point of view. There are many, of course, who agree with Kangana when she's saying that, these are something to do with Indian culture and you need to dress properly and not trivialize religion, these kind of festivities. But then equally, there's another lobby which is pushing for the fact that at the end of the day, no woman should be told what she needs to wear and how she needs to wear. And Kriti Sanon has every liberty and freedom to dress up the way she wants to. And, so this is a debate which I don't think is going to find an immediate closure. But yes, Kangana Ranaut is bound to face a lot of attack, even coming in from the Congress and the opposition parties. She's their favorite controversy child, so to say. She's often taken off Rahul Gandhi or even Priyanka Vadra. She's spoken up against the misogyny within the Congress party. It's double standards. And here also now she's making the larger point that, there is a Lakshman Rekha, there's a line which needs to be drawn, and that line has been breached.
Right, but Pallavi, the problem is that beyond the political attacks, which, those are valid attacks coming in from a member of parliament of the BJP, when she gets mired in this narrative surrounding Bollywood, because we all remember that during the COVID time when she went into that tirade against the industry, the Nepo industry, as well as the desperate outsiders, taking on Karan Johar as well as the other bigwigs of the industry, her political attacks as well as her cultural criticisms of certain figures, it gets mired in this very toxic, criticism of Bollywood itself.
Many would dismiss her as being arrogant. Many would also see her as someone who's achieved success, not belonging to any entitled family, not having a big surname, someone who's actually risen from the ranks by her sheer performance. And she actually has had the courage to take on many in Bollywood. I mean, Karan Johar are big names. To call them out publicly, knowing that she runs the risk of possibly being ostracized by the rest of the film industry, which has happened to her, which we see as a different kind of a courage. And maybe that's one reason why the BJP has its use of her. She epitomizes the younger women achievers, right, who try to break the glass.
Pallavi, I'm sorry to interrupt because we're getting a reaction from actress Kriti Sanon, who's reacted after this controversy and this attack coming in from Kangana Ranaut. She has put out this post on the platform of Instagram saying, the essence of festivals is not in the clothes you wear, it is in the emotions and meaning you hold for traditions. Raksha Bandhan is a bond of protection. My sister and I tie Rakhis to each other we know we can protect each other no less than a brother would have, is what Kriti Sanon has put out on Instagram. She goes on to say, we pray for each other's health, happiness and long life. And for us, this prayer and promise extends to our dogs as well. So that is the statement coming in from Kriti Sanon. After all, they are family. Also, when will we stop telling women what to wear? Ethnic fashion has evolved over the years, but still a woman's respect for her culture is measured with just her clothes. Culture and traditions are in her heart, not in their neckline. So this is the statement coming in from Kriti Sanon to Kangana Ranaut. And at the same time, the big statement and the big contrast coming here is that Kangana Ranaut has also been unabashedly very unapologetic when it comes to her own kind of expression. It seems Kriti Sanon is taking that similar line when talking about Raksha Bandhan, as well as her relationship with her sister, who she ties a Rakhi to. She's tying a Rakhi to her dog also. There's so many dog lovers across the world who see their dogs as family as well as signs of protection. So she's taking that line pretty much countering Kangana Ranaut. Kangana Ranaut, who has taken the cultural attack against Kriti Sanon, but Kriti Sanon making it extremely clear, my culture is my own. It is not defined by my clothes, and neither is it defined by my traditions. It's defined by the essence of what I feel. Let's take you through the statement once again. This is what Kriti Sanon has put out on Instagram. It's a very measured defense coming in from the actress, saying that the essence of festivals is not in the clothes you wear, it is in the emotions and meaning you hold for traditions. And this is the point that she's trying to make. My sister and I tie a Rakhi to each other. We know we can protect each other no less than a brother would have. We pray for each other's health, happiness and long life. And then she goes on to say this point, and for us, this prayer and promise extends to our dogs as well. Something that will gain a lot of favor with a lot of dog lovers across the country. After all, they are family. And also, when will we stop telling women what to wear? So you can see the entire feminist pitch coming in from Kriti Sanon itself, that women are not defined by their clothes. They are defined by the essence by which they respect tradition. So this is the response coming in from the actress to Kangana Ranaut. Let's listen into what Kangana Ranaut had to say once again.
Enough is enough. मैं देखती हूँ हर एक आए दिन ये इस तरह के लोग, चाहे वो आशुतोष राणा हो जो कहते हैं कि कुत्ते की तरह भौंकते हैं, चाहे सोनू सूद टाइप लोग हैं जो कहते हैं कि मुझे तरीका सीखना चाहिए, राखी सावंत टाइप लोग हैं जो मेरे चरित्र पर जो हैं हर तरीके की भद्दी टिप्पणी करते हैं, तापसी पन्नू टाइप लोग हैं जो मेरे माता पिता को, मेरी परवरिश को, मेरे बैकग्राउंड को अपमानित करते हैं। ये लोगों के लिए मेरा सिर्फ एक मैसेज है कि अगर आप लोग मेरे समान 1% भी लाइफ में सक्सेस नहीं कमा पाए हो तो मैं आपका कोई भी ज्ञान नहीं सुनूंगी।
The problem in this entire narrative is that Kangana Ranaut is claiming that she has been consistently under attack from Bollywood, but she should not forget the kind of statements she has made against other figures inside Bollywood. Taapsee Pannu has been a point of attack in the past as well. She even took on Alia Bhatt when it came to Gangubai Kathiawadi, where she said that she called Alia Bhatt, who is an accomplished actress, she called her Papa Ki Pari, trying to demean her role inside Bollywood, saying that even Gangubai Kathiawadi won't even be a hit, but the movie turned out to be a major hit. And I'm joined by Rahul Ishwar here on the broadcast, who's an activist. Rahul, how do you see the statement coming in from Kangana Ranaut? Do you think she is trying to enforce her own definition of what is tradition when it comes to how these ads portray Raksha Bandhan, as well as other relationships that we've seen inside Hindu homes, which have evolved over time? We have different ways to express who are our protectors, who are our family. And Kriti Sanon has just made that statement of Instagram that I am not defined by my clothes, I am defined by the sentiments by which I carry my traditions. How do you see this entire controversy?
Two submissions. As a Hindu right-wing activist, I feel Kangana ji has raised a point that many people feel, that, sometimes, if you are going to a party, it's absolutely okay. If you are going to a birthday bash, a nightclub, anywhere with your friends, this kind of dress is absolutely okay. But in front of your brother, we expect a more family-like situation. So, please engage with that opinion. And I really offer my respect to Kriti Sanon, who has engaged with that opinion in a very respectful way. See, the choice is there will always be a fight between conservative and liberal elements. I lean towards being conservative. I'm a Hindu right-wing conservative activist. At the same point of time, when we raise an argument or criticize a person, we should be respectful enough, use good choice of words, And I also felt Kriti Sanon, I really like her for her performance in many movies. Her dress could have been different for this occasion. I wouldn't even call it inappropriate. It could have been slightly different for this occasion because it's a Raksha Bandhan. Your brother is involved. Two grown-up adults. These kind of things are there. So Kangana ji has raised that point, and I'm very happy that Kriti Sanon chose to engage with this, and that is how every society goes ahead. See, there will be liberal friends. I'm a conservative person, so this conservative versus liberal debate is always going to happen, and we both have to decide where to draw the line. And I think your mainstream media, our civil society, they will all take up this debate to where to draw that line. And this is a natural course of action that's happening in all civilized democracies.
Right. But Rahul, when it comes to delivery, that's what you're talking about. Who has used better and, I must say, classier language when it comes to talking about this issue?
I know. I would humbly say Kangana ji could have used a bit more different articulation. I really respect Kangana ji, but she could have used a slightly different articulation because
I think that's the point at the end of the day, Rahul. I think, and I completely agree with you, that when it comes to raising these matters, you can be respectful. I think Kriti Sanon has been extremely respectful as what you are saying by her Instagram post. But thank you for joining us on the broadcast. I'm also joined by Nabila Jamal on the broadcast as well. Nabila, when it comes to these kind of topics, we always see the battle between conservatism as well as liberalism, but everyone has their own right on how to express themselves even during Hindu festivals and any kind of, family and religious festival. But the question remains, how do you word the entire argument? And it seems Kangana Ranaut has shot herself in the foot once again with her language.
Right, at this point, Kriti Sanon responding, I presume that we have this on our channel, her reply on all the controversy, where she's put out a post where she says essential festivals is not in the clothes that you wear, it is the emotions and meaning that you hold for tradition. Raksha Bandhan is a bond of protection. My sister and I tie Rakhi to each other, and then therefore that love and affection could also extend to our dog, because that is also, after all, a family. So I'm not too sure, but look, Ayushman, we know that festivals evolve, traditions evolve, but to some conservatives, this still could be hurtful to where, someone like a Kangana Ranaut, for her, this is fodder to pick on an actor who's decided to wear a bikini dress for Raksha Bandhan festival, and then the Rakhi being tied to a dog is not very conventional for most people. It could be hurtful. And some of them on social media, since I track that very closely, have also asked Kriti Sanon if she would wear a bikini-clad outfit on the occasion of Eid. But these are prominent questions. Even as much as we may condemn this, ultimately it's a question that's worth asking. On the festival of Eid, if Kriti Sanon wore a bikini-clad dress, she wouldn't have been spared. If she did an ad wearing a dress of that nature, even though it was white in color, even this bikini color was white, if she wore a white bikini dress on the occasion of Eid, doing an ad on that occasion, she would have had to face a lot of backlash. So if they thought that conservatives are going to be conservatives, they will condemn it, and Kriti Sanon has to brace it, considering she's in the public eye. But she's responded with a graceful response. Now, so far, there's been no complaint as such as to what's happened. But it's a war of words, and that will continue.
Right, but at the same time, isn't it very problematic that Kangana Ranaut, time and time again, given the statements she's made against other Bollywood actors, nothing to do with ads, nothing to do with their body of work, everything to do with the so-called culture of Bollywood. This gets mired in all of her, let's say, culture warrior and political arguments at the same time. She tends to derail the entire narrative that she's trying to project because she uses certain words, certain language when it comes to referring to her own colleagues in Bollywood. So this kind of toxicity that she tends to project when it comes to using language for her colleagues, which we've seen in the past as well, which had nothing to do with a lot of the other actors' work, this kind of turns into this vortex of, bad blood between Kangana Ranaut and the wider Bollywood industry. And that's where the point tends to get lost.
Ayushman, at this point, Bollywood, I think, has completely ignored what Kangana has to say. Because they've already understood that Kangana has nothing nice to say about the Bollywood fraternity as a whole. She's been very bitter ever since that she's moved out of movies and gotten into politics. All the more now that she's an MP, it appears that Kangana Ranaut is a lot more emboldened to speak against a fraternity or to speak against an individual, because she feels at this point that she has a past and she has, I'm not too sure if she has backing, because to be honest, as much as she's made comments on multiple levels, BJP MPs or BJP leaders themselves have not fully backed what Kangana has said. So they stay clear from Kangana's words, but yet Kangana she's emboldened to say what she says because she's an MP. But now whether on a lot of levels, it's not as if she's always saying the wrong thing. She says the right thing, but her nature and the way she says it is also problematic to a lot of people. But at the same time, if you go down to the grain of what she said, on many levels she could be right, but because it's coming from Kangana, in Bollywood at least, it's hardly taken seriously.
But I think the problem with Kangana Ranaut is you can't expect to make a good point when it's packaged in Toxicity, and I think that's the delivery is where she faces a lot of problems. Let's once again take you through what Kriti Sanon said in that Instagram story that she's put out in reaction to Kangana Ranaut. She has said the essence of festivals is not in the clothes you wear, it is in the emotions and meaning you hold for the traditions. Raksha Bandhan is a bond of protection. My sister and I tie Rakhi to each other. We know we can protect each other no less than a brother would have. This is a very powerful statement coming in from the actress. She goes on to say, we pray for each other's health, happiness and long life, and for us, this prayer and promise extends to our dogs as well. After all, they are family. Something that will resonate with a lot of dog lovers at the same time. Also, when will we stop telling women what to wear? Ethnic fashion has evolved over the years, but still a woman's respect for her culture is measured with just her clothes. Culture and traditions are in her heart, not in her neckline. It's a very powerful statement coming in from Kriti Sanon. You can see no toxicity towards Kangana Ranaut. At the same time, she's taking on the trolls who are targeting her on social media over this ad. And this entire message, and Nabila Jamal continues to be with us, this entire message, culture and traditions are in her heart, not in her neckline. I think it's a powerful feminist message coming in from the actress, but clearly she's now dealing with an ecosystem where traditional values have their own warriors on social media.
Look, she can say what she wants to say, right, Ayushman, because she's, of course, defending herself and justifying her stand. But two things. I think the bikini dress that she's wearing for Raksha Bandhan, it's very much in line with the movie Cocktail that she did recently, where she was seen extensively in bikini-clad attires. It seems like it's a continuation, and that was her last movie that hit theatres. So I believe that the marketing or the ad makers were thinking of that look that Kriti Sanon had in the movie Cocktail, where she looked stunning. She really shaped up for it. And that bikini look is what has been projected even in the Raksha Bandhan ad. Now, while that was, if that was the thought of continuity, on one end they must have been successful, but on the other, conservatives are not okay with something like this. And we've got to be a little considerate about what people think. We may want to ignore the world, but we are in a country like India where people here are indeed religious, a large majority, vast majority of them. And so slight respect towards culture and religion is always good and intended well. If Kriti Sanon had, getting into this controversy also gives us a tad bit of publicity for someone. I'm not too sure if she did that for publicity, but at the same time, I believe she should have been considerate. And now that she's receiving the back, was what was expected, and it's come her way as expected.
Right, clearly, so that backlash she is facing, but she's also, I think, very gracefully hit back at the critics. Clearly, the conservative base inside on social media, has their problem when it comes to what Kriti Sanon has portrayed in this Raksha Bandhan ad, because you will have cultural warriors on social media, but it's all about engagement. You can be a cultural critic, but then there is that fine line between being a cultural critic and a troll at the same time. And I think Kangana Ranaut herself, in her language, she jostles between those two factors, between being a cultural critic as well as a troll. And which is why what's happened is that with Kriti Sanon's Instagram post, what has happened is that she has been able to blunt a lot of the points coming in from Kangana Ranaut, because Kangana Ranaut has pretty much said that what if you were wearing a full-fledged bikini, and clearly she's not wearing that when it comes to this advertisement, but Kangana Ranaut being in her own style trying to make that point. But at the same time, ladies and gentlemen, Kriti Sanon has made this point that culture and traditions are in a woman's heart, not in her neckline. This is something a lot of women across the country feel. It's a very pro-feminist message coming in from Kriti Sanon, but clearly, as the cultural critics have their own problems, it's all about the messaging when it comes to this entire controversy. Can you draw the line between being a cultural critic and a troll? That is the big question which emerges. And clearly, as Rahul Ishwar was also pointing out, Kangana Ranaut could have used better language when addressing Kriti Sanon, but the question is that she has made so many negative statements about different Bollywood stars in the past. This entire point that she's trying to make gets mired in that entire controversy, in that entire vortex of toxicity. But we will continue to track all those developments coming in. We'll take a quick break. More news and updates on the other side.